Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Nation U podcast. Apologies that we had some delays in the past episode. In today's episode, I'm gonna be talking about something very important. It's a very interesting topic for each and every one of us to listen to it. Don't forget, it's very important for you to share this, like it, and subscribe. You can find us on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, teachers, amongst all, even Amazon Music. You will also find us there. Okay, so in this episode, what do we know? What can we say about civic education? What is the relevance of civic education in Nigeria and even in Africa as a whole? According to the definition of civic education from the website civicus.org, they define civic education as broadly scope of the provisioning of information and learning experiences to equip and empower citizens to participate in democratic processes. Enough of grammar. What this means is that a way for citizens to learn and acquire information in order for them to be a good citizen. And what are the 5 components of civic education? When I was doing my research, I found out the 5 components of civic education. The first one is the human rights education. The second one is teaching a culture of peace. The third one is education of tolerance. The fourth one is development of inter-sectoral social partnership. The fifth one, which is the last one, is the management of self-governing association of citizens. Okay, so why are we talking about this? The reason why we're talking about this is to know how many African countries actually promote civic education. What does this imply? By the proper promotion of civic education in Africa, our citizens are well educated, so they can participate in democratic processes going on in their countries across board. For instance, in South African curriculum, the South African curriculum does not include a standalone civic education. However, civic education is folded into what is known as life orientation class, in which, among other things, people seek to help students to develop beneficial social interactions, such as respecting others' rights and values. According to Nigerian Journal of Social Studies that I also read, there was a publication by D.A. Falade, which talked about civic education as a tool for nation building in Nigeria. It suggested in the paper that civic education is very, very pertinent for the development of Nigeria. He concluded that the need for civic training as a way of achieving nation building in Nigeria is very paramount for eradicating the low level of civic responsibilities in Nigeria. I wouldn't want to talk more about this. I would like to invite a colleague of mine to hear his opinion about this, coming down to Nigerian situation and coming out to what civic education, the impact of civic education in Nigeria in general.
Mr. Yakub, I've spent quite some quality time listening to your podcast as well. I mean, you've had a lot of interesting people here. To start with, my name is Somoye Olagoke, and the discussion on civic education is quite a very interesting one, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Thank you very much, Somoye. I think this is not the first time we always welcome you here. And so, on this topic, civic education, what is your opinion regarding the level of civic education in Nigeria?
Basically, I will be talking from my own point of view. Growing up, there was nothing like civic education for me. I mean, at least when I was in primary or secondary school, I didn't, have any lecture on civic education, and I believe this would have gone a long way. Although I think it's now been introduced because I know some siblings of mine are always telling me they have civic education.
You mean right now?
Yeah, right now. Yeah,
but
think
back then,
there was nothing like it. So it's didn't give us a very good foundation as to what's expected in the society and what we're supposed to do. I believe the Nigeria ideology or mentality just takes the responsibility on the parents. Actually, the city expects us to be, drenched in the civic education by our parents. They expect them to teach us respect, faithfulness, loyalty, and not being greedy, and all those things. What we over time ignore is the fact that not every parent would be responsible for this, because there are a lot of people without even parents as well that are on the street. So we should be responsible for teaching these folks civic education.
For funniest thing is that if you look at what is currently happening in the societal structures in Nigeria right now, you will find out that a lot of our teenagers, a lot of kids of nowadays, really they know what is it to be respectful. They know how to comport themselves. Sometimes they are just so because of social medias, because of the impact of social medias, most of them don't even understand how it is for them to relate with people. And of course we know we're in 21st century, but there are a lot of things that for instance, our culture, our values and norms is not like the way we used to be, bro. Things has changed.
Yeah, definitely. I believe society have to change over time, with the trends and everything, but still there are some things I feel like we're really missing in our society in terms of truthfulness, not being greedy. Nowadays, when you see money perhaps on the floor, you believe this is God sent, rather than you saying, okay, this is money meant for someone.
Absolutely.
Or, when you're doing business with someone, it's your priority, or it should be your, self-discipline as human to not to cheat the other person. These are just these are basis of the society that we are lacking as one. We believe any opportunity to get an upper hand in another person, in your competitor, you should get as much as possible money from this person. If you have a customer, you don't treat them fairly, you just want to go for the highest profit, which normally shouldn't be the case. There should be a profit that's right and wrong. These are things that we're missing generally in the society, and these are values that are not being passed generally from the parents to the children, and this is then continue as a trend, because of course if parent lacks one, then it means a complete generation has not been taught about civic education at all, and this is bad, really.
Wow. I think I think you really talk about this pain point, coming to the impact of the educational views and the impact of not having civic education in Nigeria. How do you think, in your own opinion, that let me go by this way. Do you think civic education can actually make a good Nigerian? You know?
I believe over time, yeah, like I said earlier, we already lost a whole like 2 generations not having this. So we wouldn't expect we right now to become parents and be able to actually transfer good civic education to our kids, because definitely we lack one. I was not taught one. I don't know if anyone was also taught one.
Me too. You mean Hida was not taught?
So this is something we're already lacking. But if we initiate this idea now, it's just like, let's, for example, say if we go to schools and say we want to be teaching children about environmental science or proper waste management, you know. So if these kids know that, okay, this is where you're supposed to drop your paper, your plastic, and all sorts of like that. So when they see their parents not doing it right, they tell them, Mom, what are you doing? Wrong. This is wrong. My teacher told me this is wrong, you know. From there, they come out as a better person compared to with their parents, perhaps because we're not taught in school. So it's never too late, really. But of course, it could be too late as well. But I think the time is now, and it can always be now, you know, in terms of teaching kids civic education, something like history, something like environmental science. These are some bases that we should kind of integrate into the new generation coming now. Yeah,
exactly. For my own opinion also, I think it's very pertinent for civic training, for a proper civic responsibility for Nigerians. On this note, do you have something else to discuss about, or anything to round up?
Yeah, basically, it's a very good topic. Of course, can be dealt with more intensively, really. But I think already bringing it out as an idea that, okay, this is something we are missing as a society, and you know, this is something a generation has missed, and the next generation shouldn't miss. So I think it's already important to put it out there. And also, you as a parent, if you listen as a parent, I think it's important to sit the children down and let them know, you know, what their responsibilities are in the society, what their rights are, you know.
That's right.
Even if you cannot, you know, change the whole of Nigeria, I believe you should be able to change your state. If you cannot change your state, then you should be able to change something in your local government. If you cannot do that, do something on your street, you know. Change your street, If you cannot change your street, just change your family, you know. So just make sure you're part of a change. Do something important, I mean, very interesting for the society, make an impact, leave a footprint. So that will be my own ending discussion.
Wow, thank you very much, Somoye, for coming. I really appreciate. We love you. Thank you very much. All the listeners also are saying thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we are going to put an end to this episode. Don't forget to share this with friends and families, especially people back in Nigeria. Let them realize that civic education is paramount for eradicating the low level of civic responsibilities in Nigeria. Until I talk to you again, I love you guys. Enjoy yourself and have fun. Bye.